Yeah.
You 1471. And these are dark and troubled times. England is at war as she fights for herself, brother against brother, father against son. In a wicked civil war that you will call the Wars of Roses. The battle between the House of York and the House of Lancaster, each trying to put their man on the throne of England. In 1471, I ally myself, my forces in Lancastrian troops. We support Henry VI. Tomorrow, we march upon London, and there we intend to take the Yorkist King Edward from the throne of England and replace him with Henry. We intend to attack the capital. For this, we will need cannon. We will need siege machines, but most of all, we will need that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one of the biggest and most powerful siege engines in the world. The Warwick Castle Trebuchet! Yes, at over 18 metres tall and 22 tons in weight, it is indeed one of the biggest and most powerful siege engines in the world. And for 1471, the very latest in technology. Look, wheels inside the machine. What are they for? I will tell you. Traditionally, you load the trebuchet by pulling down the throwing arm and counterweight using decent burden. Horses and oxen. It's always been done that way. To be honest, it's always worked. But there's always been a couple of niggling problems with the system. If you take horses and oxen to war with you, you tie up a percentage of the troops just looking after animals. Men that you can't really spare. Also, your enemy is trying to cut off your supply train. If they succeed, you will run out of food, and then you do have a problem. Hungry soldiers aren't reasonable people. They will either rise up against you or just disappear into the night. You can't let that happen, so they end up eating the horses and the oxen, and then there's no way to load your trebuchet. But somebody somewhere had a sheer joke of genius. There was another way, a way that we could use our soldiers. How? We borrow the technology of the medieval crane. The same cranes that helped us build our castles. They are ingeniously simple, just huge wheels that men walk inside. So you take two crane wheels and you put them inside the trebuchet. The two wheels are linked by a central axle. You take 4 men, you put 2 in each wheel, and you get them to walk that way. There's a rope attached to the throwing arm, goes down for a pulley, and then up to the central axle. There it is tied on. The men's walking action tightens the rope around the axle, pulling down the arm and lifting the counterweight. That huge wooden box that hangs in the middle of the machine. That box and its contents weighs just over 5 tons. So you've just witnessed 4 people lift that incredible weight. What a feat of engineering. Well, yes it is, but walking a trebuchet wheel is still reckoned to be one of the worst jobs in history. Well, the arm is down. It is locked down by a trigger, which is pushed through a metal hoop on the arm. That is the release mechanism. Below the trigger, the trebuchet master's pushed in a steel pin, so you can't pull the trigger until you take the pin out. It's there for safety. Also, she's locked on a chain as well. So the shooting sequence will be remove the chain, pull out the pin, and then you can pull the trigger. Right, arm down, counterweight hands in its apex. It looks like the machine's ready to go. It may look like it, but of course it isn't. That's because of the rope, which is still tight around the axle. Pull the trigger now and you literally tear an axle out. So nothing can be done until that rope is out of the way. And that's what they're addressing now. So it's back into the wheels. Don't walk that way, turn round and walk that way. You don't need 4 winders because it's no longer potential. So what in each wheel will do, the fellow soldier goes round to the front of the machine and goes onto the brake. The brake is a 7-foot piece of oak which is slipped underneath the wheel. So simple, but so important. You see, traditionally, this is the most dangerous part of the wind for the winders. There's going to be an accident on a trebuchet. When you're going that way, it's hard work, but it can't run away with you because you're working against that huge counterweight. Turn round and go this way, it's a different story. It's no longer under tension. And what sometimes used to happen is one of the winders would really pick up the pace, really go for it. Now why would you do that? It's probably human nature. This is a horrible job. When we do horrible jobs, we try to get them out of the way as quickly as possible, don't we? So, The problem is though, if one winder does that, what happens to the other one? He has no choice. He has to try to keep up whatever happens. These wheels weigh over a ton each. Momentum takes over. The wheels speeding up, going faster and faster. The men running faster still in some terrible race. A race that can only have one end. You lose your footing. You try to stop. Doesn't matter. You're whipped around the wheel. You fall on the axle. The end. That is why the person on the brake is so important. Slow them down if they're going too fast. Stop the wheel if they're really in trouble. Now this machine can shoot 150 kilo rocks, well over 300 pounds. We don't do that on a regular basis because if we did, we would destroy the end of this beautiful island in there. And anyway, the rocks out of trebuchets, you shoot rocks if you intend to batter down walls. Yes, you can take a castle or a fortress or a city by battering down its walls, but if you do, how do you defend it against a counter-attack? No, first choice, if at all possible, take it with its outer wall intact. How do you do that? Well, you don't do it with the rocks. You can fight a dirty war, empty all the trees in there and find dead and rotted animals, throw them into trebuchets and throw them over the wall, spreading the sea. Psychological warfare. Have prisoners, chop off their heads, load their heads into baskets and throw those in as well. Or you can set the whole lot alight with a fireball. At 4:30 this afternoon, we will show you what a fireball looks like. But this morning, from this siege engine, we are going to shoot a rock by slingshot. The sling is permanently fixed at the end of the arm. It runs down to the middle of the machine where there's a neck section. Our loader loads the 18 kilo rock into the neck. It returns and goes onto the hook at the end of the arm. This is a slingshot. It just happens to be the biggest slingshot you will ever see. Just checking the ropes, so they're not twisted. Check and check again, it must have a misfire. Cry goes out, stone loaded, the loader leaves the machine, the trebuchet master starts her safety check. Is she happy with the trebuchet? Has anybody or anything wandered onto our shooting range? All good, so she steps up and takes off the safeties. First of all, she removes the chain. Then draws the pin from below the trigger, making the machine live. Steps down and checks one last time that nothing changed in the last few seconds. It's all too late once you pull the trigger. Takes the rope which leads the trigger. Now this is where we join in. I want us all to count down from 10 to 0. When we get to 0, I want you to yell loose as loud as you can, and that's her signal to pull the trigger. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are we ready to count? That was rubbish. Are we ready to count? Then let's do it. 10, 9, 8,
4, 3.
We launched. Fantastic. There it goes at 150 miles an hour. The Warwick Castle trebuchet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is not achieved without an awful lot of hard work. So can we please have a big cheer for the crew? Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, at the front of the castle, next to the ballista, we have our bowman. His name is Lewis. He's an excellent shot. It's a hell of a show. Go and have a look. And until later on, thank you so much. From the trebuchet, thank you.